We don't want this land developed at all. We feel that there must be some concession made not only to the wildlife who lives here, but also to concerns regarding flooding mitigation. I mean, our neighborhood floods. We had a nor'easter in November, and the berm that we're about to walk across was under 2 feet of water. We need wetlands. Wetlands protect homes. And flooding is a real problem in the city of St. Augustine. So we need that land not just for habitat for animals, but also as a buffer zone against flooding. That's what wetlands do. They give us resilience. My name is Elizabeth Smith. My friends call me Liz. And I am a freelance copywriter, and I'm also a fitness instructor. And I'm a novelist. My first novel is now in production, and I started on a second novel late last year. We chose this neighborhood because it abuts a conservation easement, and we really loved just the closeness to nature that we feel when we're here. There's a berm that is right next to our house. We're able to walk across that berm. We can see the lake, we can see the marsh to the north. Anytime we came over here, we would see wood storks, we would see roseate spoonbills. Just the variety and richness of the natural world is what attracted us. The land that I'm talking about is 33 acres, and it's owned by the city of St. Augustine. And years ago, it was a city dump, and then it was used as a sewage treatment plant, which that's now defunct, but there are still some structures on the land. But the majority of the land is just wild. I think at least 4 acres of it is wetland. And it's being proposed now as a site for an arts center through the Epicenter Arts Alliance. So this would be a $100 million project, a really large construction project that would bring a lot of traffic to the area. So local residents are really concerned about that, not just because of the loss of habitat for the wildlife, but also because of traffic, additional people, just some quality of life issues. Another proposal for that land is high density housing, affordable housing, near 400 units has been considered as well. There are alternate sites for both projects, both the Arts Center and the affordable housing. So we feel that this is not the right location, not the right venue for those items, and that this would be better left as a passive park. Several of us attended the commissioners' meeting, and we spoke against the arts project. And Commissioner Blonder actually tried to kill the entire deal at that meeting. Didn't quite make it. I think it was Nancy Sykes-Klein agreed with her. She's the vice mayor, but they didn't quite have the votes to stop the arts center proposal at that particular meeting. But some ideas were discussed. John Valdez brought up the point that this city-owned land, is really low-lying. It's prone to flooding. So, and Commissioner Blonder mentioned that as well, that flooding is a real problem in this city. The impact on habitat would be absolutely devastating. We were in Pennsylvania for 4 years. We came back last year, and when we returned, we were stunned by what we saw on the island. Isla, the development it's a big apartment complex that's right on the water, right near the east side of the 312 bridge, northeast side. I don't know how many housing units are there, but that's brought a lot of development, as has the development of Antigua. So the wildlife that's on this land literally has nowhere else to go. This is the last piece of undeveloped land on the northeast side of 312. There's a herd of deer on this land, there are otters, armadillos, there's just nowhere else for them to live. We are here because of the wildlife, and the outpouring, the response of people who are opposed to more development is stunning. I attended the open forum by the county commissioners a few weeks ago, and so many people spoke out, as did I, against this just unmitigated development in this area. People have spoken in the city against more development, and the city of St. Augustine is in fact 90% built out. People have had enough, and really it's detrimental to tourism to have every single surface paved. We need these wild spaces. This is why people live here and also why people visit here. There's a lot more traffic. I think the air quality is different. I see more dead animals on the road. I see crowds. I have changed my schedule so that I don't go out on weekends in the summer because there are just so many people here. One of the disturbing trends is that people feel they need to leave, that people who have lived here for decades feel displaced because they no longer feel that this is the town they know and love. It's unrecognizable to them. I think that's really sad. I've been here on the island since 2011, in Florida since 2010. People can help by joining our Facebook group. The name is the Fish Island Community Alliance. And we are differentiating ourselves from the Fish Island Preserve, which is on the south side of 312. That land is preserved. This is 33 acres of city-owned land that's on the north side of 312, the other side. So the city commissioners called this piece of land Fish Island Road. So we would like this to be known as Fish Island Road Park. And people are most welcome to join the Facebook group. We are working on a website, so we hope to have that available within the next 2 weeks. And we encourage people, not just citizens of St. Augustine, but residents of the county as well, to let city officials know. Let your voices be heard. Email, call. Everything is available on the City of St. Augustine website. You can directly email the city commissioners, the mayor, the vice mayor, city manager John Regan. All of these people need to know how the taxpayers and the voters of St. Augustine and environs feel about development. No, it's really important that people speak up. The commissioners may not always reply, but they read these emails, they hear these phone calls, and they are very much aware of their position as elected officials, and they need to know what their constituents are concerned about. If you write enough checks and work the system, you can build anywhere you want. You hire what's called an environmental consulting company, which is really a euphemism for a company that can undo the layers of legal protection that conserved areas enjoy. And I prepared a 36-page report listing all the reasons for why building in this area is ill-advised. Flooding was one of the big ones, particularly after the nor'easter, potential damage to homes, disruption of endangered wildlife. The wood stork is on the federally endangered list. A bird of concern is the little blue heron. So this is just not an area where you want to build. And Tracy, the wildlife here does not recognize this gate or this fence. And the otters, the armadillos, the birds, they travel freely back and forth between the wetland here and the lake. And you can see that we've got lots of deer. Look at all these deer tracks. So we have a herd of white-tailed deer. I was out here with some of the friends of Fish Island, and they were pointing out some trees that may be of significance. The city of St. Augustine has an ordinance about significant trees that are of a certain diameter at a certain height. And there's a cedar tree. Cedar trees are among the trees that are protected by the city of St. Augustine. This is where the otter was. I have a few pictures of the otter on the Facebook page. And this is all drainage area along here. This is all, one of the Fish Island volunteers said that it is tidal, but it's not moving the way the tidal area is in Anastasia Lakes. So the volunteers thought that maybe it was clogged somewhere and just needed to be cleaned out. But I feel that if we can see it as a park, feel it as a park, use it as a park. Hopefully we can make it a park if we can visualize that and make it happen. I ask the utility workers who come back here to just be aware of the wildlife. I found a turtle a few weeks ago with a crushed shell, and it was heartbreaking because the turtle was still alive. So that was really difficult to see. So I've just asked them to just please be aware of all the wildlife. We had a panic last week because there were workers out here. I posted on the Facebook page, they told me they were just doing soil sample tests, but people were afraid that they were preparing for construction. But I know that's not the case because nothing has been approved. So we're coming to the part of this land now. So we're walking west, and this is where I always hear birds every time I'm here, but in the morning, this sounds like an aviary, this particular area. And I'm thinking it may be because there's water over there. Maybe you'll see it better when we go a little bit farther west. And we are paralleling the marsh. You can see water right through there. So maybe it's the abundance of water that makes for all the bird life here. I can't wait to get a birder out here and a naturalist and a tree expert and people who can look at this land and walk it with me and help me understand what's here so I can share it with all of our Facebook friends. There was a 6-point buck that I stumbled upon one Sunday morning a few weeks ago. And I don't know if he had been hit by a car, I'm not sure, but he wasn't dead long. And Victor and all his friends were here. They actually dragged him. They dragged the buck into this this water area here.
Who dragged him?
The birds, the vultures did. That's what one of the Fish Island volunteers told me. Here it looks like a scapula. We got some bones here. So there's 312. One of the members of our, I wonder who that is. A new friend. One of our Facebook group members of the Fish Island Community Alliance said that whenever she hears about proposed development, she hears the Joni Mitchell song in her head, Pave Paradise and Put Up a Parking Lot. So we would like this to be a preserve. Let's make it a passive park and let the animals who are enjoying life here continue to do so and enrich the quality of life for all of us. The term that I've heard used by a naturalist is a passive park, which is, I believe, what Fish Island Preserve is. So not amenities in the sense that not jungle gyms and swing sets and benches and things like that, but an area where people can walk, can ride their bikes, can hike, and can be close to nature, to wildlife in a very natural setting. I feel such a sense of urgency here because if we don't get this land preserved, it will be gone and it will be gone forever. Every morning, I have an old wooden regulator clock. It's probably 150 years old. Every morning, I touch that clock and I'm very much aware of time and that we don't have much time on this earth and that what we do needs to matter and make a difference and help others. And it motivates me to get this land preserved.